So here are the top 7 things that I learned while building the Mechwarrior.
Number 7. Some materials take paint better than others. For example, the EVA foam, once it was Plastidip, it worked fine. The paint dried almost immediately. However, on this, it's a shelf liner. Even though I did Plastidip it very heavily, the paint on here took an extra 3 days for it to dry. In fact, the green took longer to dry than the gray. I'm not sure why, but this was still sticky during the con. It's fine now, but it just takes a long time for that to dry, and I need to allow more time for that between when I make it and when I'm going to use it. Number 6. Plastidip does not stick to sheet metal very well. Now, I was kind of rough on it, so maybe that was a factor, but next time I might do several more layers or just be a bit more careful with it. Number 5. Mattress foam is really good for padding. This is the cross beam that my shoulders were hitting, and the extra padding made it so that I could do 2 days instead of just 1. Next time, though, I'm going to secure it better because it did keep on shifting on me.
By the way, thank you to the guy at Foam King who gave me a bunch of scrap pieces. I just went in and asked if he had any small cutoffs that he wasn't using, and he gave me a whole bunch out of his garbage can. It was great.
Number 4. When it comes to power supplies, the phone chargers work really well for a 5-volt power supply for the microcontroller boards. D-cells work all right. The 9 volts do not perform as well as I'd like to. Even though I tied several of them together, they just don't last long enough to power all of my 9-volt circuitry. I have a relay, and that's what ran the gun, and that's why the gun stopped halfway through the day. So I need to get some bigger power supply, maybe a hobby battery or something for the 9 volts. Number 3 is that hot glue and foam don't like the cold weather. I had some pieces, like I've re-glued this, but I had some of this plastic that came off, just snapped right off in the cold because it got so brittle or something, I don't know. But it was strange that it adhered fine to the plastic, but not to the foam itself. Number 2 is that when it comes to connecting and disconnecting wires from various parts of your costume, it's really good to use network cables because they just plug in and plug out. And they're so compact, it's thin enough wire. Usually with costumes, you're not using so much power that you need a thicker wire. And so from now on, this is all I'm going to be using for any of my electrical in my costumes. And the number 1 thing that I learned from building the Mechwarrior costume is that pin connectors are the best for working with electronics. As you can see in here, I've got a lot of places where I've got these things attached in here. Some of them were for disconnects to other pieces, and I should have used network cable for that. But for my processor boards, all I had to do was attach the pins onto the board itself, and then I just connected everything that needed to be connected. And this way, when I go to, if I need to take it apart or anything, if I just want to salvage all the pieces from this, I can just take them off and my boards are as good as new and I can reuse them.
So those are the main things that I learned from this build. I hope that maybe you learned a thing or two as well. I look forward to making another video log series on whatever my next build is going to be. I haven't exactly decided yet, but I will let you know when that starts. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, and don't forget to go to my Facebook page.